Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? I'm glad so many people could come. There's a lot of people already watching. I'm just checking my monitor, making sure everything looks good. I'm back home. I realized I hadn't live streamed anything since I was in St. Louis, and so I had to get everything set up. Glad we could start on time today. Everything coming through clearly for you guys? Sound, audio, visual? I know there's no picture of me today. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling super awesome, so I didn't really want to be on camera. But speaking of, I forgot to take some Motrin before we started, so let me go ahead and do that. Sorry, it's going to be a little loud. I'll try to do it under the table so you guys can hear it. Jacqueline is here. Yay! Haven't gotten to see Jacqueline for a while. All right. I'm so bad at remembering who suggested the Dodo. Someone suggested we do some extinct animals today, and I picked the Dodo, which was also one of the suggestions, I think. Let me go through. My internet is just struggling today. I really hope that our stream connection holds up. Let's see here. Christine? I think it was Christine. Yes, Christine, thank you for the suggestion of the Dodo. Cricket says hello. Trying to get my chat back up so I can see. And we are back. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Kristen, Cynthia. Whew. All right. Yes, Cricket likes to get up from her nap whenever I start streaming and come over. Oh, she's being naughty today. Cricket, are you being naughty? You're in my lap. Are you supposed to be in my lap right here? She's taking advantage of the fact that I feel guilty that she's been on meds for so long here. Let's say, hi, everyone. Thanks, Jacqueline. The thumbs up are nice, but not necessary on these private videos. Only you guys can see them anyway, but I appreciate it. So I was looking up some information on the Dodo, and I guess I've never really studied them. I was trying to find some cool things to tell you. Sorry, I should put like something in the screen so you know that it's not a frozen image, right? They're from an island that was east of Madagascar, and they were one of two members of a subfamily of pigeons and doves, but they got to be 3 feet tall. And the last sighting was in the 1600s, unfortunately. So they've been gone for quite some time. I found a couple of pictures. I don't have them linked below because it was really difficult to juggle everything, but if you just go to pixabay.com and type in Dodo, there's not very many images. So we've got this guy that is like a cast example of what a Dodo might look like. Sorry, that's hard to see in the screen. Then there's also a couple of illustrations. So I'm gonna work on those today. As a reminder, this is a live stream, not a tutorial. So we're just gonna hang out and chat. I'm gonna be more focused on you all in the chat versus what we're working on. So I won't be fully explaining everything that's happening with the sketching process, but if you have questions, you can let me know. I've never sketched a Dodo before, so this will be an experience. They have some really interestingly shaped bodies, so that should be fun. And my computer is already at it with the horrible loud fan noises, so hopefully that doesn't interfere too much. But how are all of you guys doing? I'm working in my Hahnemuhle sketchbook. I saw someone post, I don't remember where it was or which Discord it was. I don't know if it was here or in my Spoonies Discord chat. Someone said that they got a Hahnemuhle watercolor book and it, like, a bunch of pages fell out. I'm sorry that happened, if you're here. Awesome. Yeah, I have a filter on the audio that if it's under certain decibels, it's not supposed to pick it up. So we will hope all is well in that regard. Oh, Kristen. Kristen had trouble with the Hahnemuhle book. Were you able to contact Jackson's yet? I'm sure they'll replace it for you. I just love the shape of the dodos. They're really cool. And Christine, your comment actually got me talking to the AAC girls today. It's about time that we start talking about the next theme. So our next video is on March 14th. And that one was chosen, 2 months ago when the last video came out, and we're doing birds. But then we also have to decide on what are going to be the options for the theme the following time, so that we can put the poll up on Facebook and the link down in the description below. So I was asking the girls what they wanted to have as our options for our viewers to choose from, and I was like, anyone interested in some extinct animals? You know Mary is, right? Mary Sanch, who works at a museum and loves illustrative art and creating work from fossils. I'm actually gonna just push this out of the way for a second. We don't need it here right now. I thought it'd be fun to use my Sennelier set. I haven't used it since that video where I set everything up, so I thought that might be fun today. Oh, that's right. It is the weekend. See if I can check anything out here. I have some pages that do this, like they're really flat and they kind of pull up the page next to them, but none of the pages have come loose for me. Are you bored of us, Cricket? Are you gonna leave? Or are you just gonna make it increasingly more difficult for me to actually put my arms down and paint? All right. I think it's the latter. They had teeny tiny little wings. Okay, so now that we're kind of in a groove and everything, how is everyone doing? Is your new year starting off well? We're nearly 2 months into it. I once again apologize that you don't have a tutorial yet. I've been dying to get one recorded for you. A specific one. But I just keep falling behind on everything. I also meant to have a video out this week. Actually, originally meant to have 2 videos out. It's Victor! Hello! Haven't seen you in chat for a while. So yeah, I'm just way behind on video production. I've been in some pain flare since I got back from St. Louis. So that's always difficult and sets me back a little bit. But then on top of that, I've been trying to clean my apartment and it just seems to get dirtier every day. Isn't that always the story? Let's see. I think it has something to do with how the middle pages are stacked. Oh no. Well, whatever it is, I hope that you're able to get it fixed. Cricket, you're really getting in the way. You're blocking my reference photo. Yes, I know. You know, I've been home almost the entire day, right? And you've been sleeping and ignoring me. And now You want attention because we're talking to our friends. Let's see. Yes, Sadir, that is right. The frustration that goes along with health stuff. Cricket, for real, girl. What is going on? Alright, hold on. You have a little eye gunkies. There we go. She's been sick for over a month. She's had 2 different vet trips and antibiotics and ear meds and eye meds and oh my gosh, it's been crazy. Oh, fun. Saturday mornings are always really hard for me to get to these streams. I try and stop by when I can. I know she was streaming this morning, but I couldn't make it over there. Yes, poor Cricket. She's been through a lot. She's very forgiving, though. Oh, Rhonda's here. Hello, Rhonda. Yeah, do some swatching, some pan filling, hanging out in chat, maybe. Cricket. She keeps pushing the corner of my sketchbook. Now, I don't know bird feet very well. I don't know them well enough to kind of make up my own pose here. So, not really sure what I want to do. I think this needs to be turned the other direction. How do I like the Sennelier box set? So I briefly mentioned, it might have been before you came in chat, I haven't used it since the video, so I wanted to use it today with you guys and see how that goes. Too many paints, not enough time. Someone asked me about selection of paint over on Instagram this morning or last night. I don't remember which. And I was like, oh, you should try this brand. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I've got enough stuff to juggle right now. I don't need to be buying any more paint, that's for sure. Aw, thanks, Jacqueline. Cricket, Jack and Zadie say hello. You want to say hello back? Should we give them another wave? Give them another kitty wave? She's just sitting purring in my lap. She's gotten so, like, I don't know the word for it. Pliable? She just kind of like sits in and will put herself in like whatever position you leave her in. It's pretty funny. Hello, Cosmic. How are you? Yeah, Christine, she's not allowed on my lap when I'm at my desk, but I've been feeling bad because she's had all this medication, so I've been a big ol' softie, and it's going to set up bad habits. I just know it. Oh, Victor asks, how are the great watercolor purge going? Oh, so we did that big purge a while back with patrons, and I think it's already time for another one. I have a lot of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and work on reviews and everything of the things that I do have, but I'll have some more like tubes of paint, I think, ready to be rehomed. I don't want to get rid of full sets or anything like that, but I Around the same time, I got all of those Da Vinci paints from doing the trio, kind of like the payout for that, and as well as the Mission Gold Pure 24 color set, which was back in October for my birthday from my mom, and still hadn't set up that palette yet. I filmed it last week and I just need to put together the rest of the video. I really don't like doing just like unboxing and palette fill videos. I mean, they're relaxing and I like that to be part of the video, but I want there to be some content in there, and I don't have any content for you yet. So I want to try and do a painting or testing or something. I don't know. So I still need to work on the rest of that video, but then once I do that, I'll have the tubes of paint that I know I won't use that I can go ahead and rehome. I also have all those core paints. I got like 40 plus tubes of core paints from Jennifer, Jenny Granberry, and she sent me like a lot of cadmium colors that I know I'm not going to use. So I don't know if any of you guys use cadmiums, but I would be happy to rehome those ones, either to you guys or to other content creators. I should ask Jenny what she would prefer I do with them since she gifted them to me. She gifted them to me so that I could put them all on my swatch resource, but I mean, they're the 11 milliliter tubes, so I don't need the whole things after the cards are done. All right. Love the 3/4 inch silver black velvet I adopted. Oh, wonderful! The flat brush that you got. I got a littler one. I got a smaller one. I got the 1/2 inch, which I think I'll use more often. So I'm excited about that. I've been using this guy a lot from Jackson's to do my swatching. I did 100, I don't know if you guys saw over on Instagram, I did 123 swatch cards between the cores, a bunch of Winsor & Newton paint that got sent to me, and then some miscellaneous ones. So that took like 3 days. And then I'm working on a giant dot card right now that I would be working on in this video if I could, but it's a secret project, so I'm gonna have to wait to share that with you guys. I will be using some new brushes today though. I got some travel brushes. These are the Voyager sets, the silver black velvet. Tori let me know from Juicy Ink. She was like, Denise, there's a sale over on, I think it was Dick Blick. And I've been wanting some of their travel brushes for a long time, but they're pretty expensive. So I was very happy she told me about the sale, and I can give those a try today and see how they work. I got an 8 and a 2. Oh, good. I'm glad you like them. I can't imagine I won't like them, but I got a couple we can play with. I should have put this bird over here. I like to do my animals like facing the inside of my books. That's just like a personal decision. So like Bison is facing the inside. This one on the outside is facing inside. Cricket, what's going on? She is half sitting on my left leg, half on the edge of the chair and like leaning over. I can't tell if she wants to jump down or not. Oh, there she goes. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't had a small silver black velvet before. I think the smallest one I had was a 4, which is here. And I don't even think I've used it yet. I think I got this one to use and then haven't had much of a chance to. All right, so should I do another sketch or should I just paint this one here? Should I do like a close-up? It's so hard when you're doing sketches from extinct animals because we don't know what colors necessarily they are except for descriptions that we have. Let's go ahead and... Oh, okay. Christy. Okay, just paint this one. All right, I'll paint this one, and then if we have time, we can do another one. I'm going to use this as a reference. Some scientists put this together, so I'm going to assume that it's somewhat accurate in color. See, you guys know that I'm bad about these live streams, and if I do another sketch, I probably won't finish them, right? That's the deciding factor. Denise, just paint the dodo. Just paint it so you don't run out of time. So I've got a Payne's gray here, and I saw a request for some muted purple. So I think it might be fun to use a color that I don't use very often. I think you can just barely see it on screen here, on the side here. There's a cobalt violet hue. It's not actual cobalt violet. And I don't know what happened with these particular, I have to show it to you. It's just too funny not to. So Sennelier uses extruded pans, and some of them come to the top, like they're level with the top. Some of them, like this one, aren't quite full. And then there's other ones, like this cobalt violet, that is massive and like sticking up out of the top of this thing. So I better find some use for this cobalt violet because I've got a lot of it. All right, so we've got Payne's gray and cobalt violet hue here. Just going to add some water to it so we can mute that down. So Rhonda, what's interesting about the dodo is that there are human accounts of them. Like there's descriptions of people who wrote about them that saw them while they were alive. So in the case of dinosaurs, no, like we don't know what colors they were, but there are ways to like, I think they're figuring out ways to tell the pigments of the feathers that they're finding that are stuck in amber due to the way that the pigment structure, like the DNA in it is. And, but I'm gonna assume that the scientists like read the research, right? Read the accounts from other people that talked about the dodos and let us know what color they were supposed to be. Well, yes, the sailors are dead though. So we have the sailors' accounts and then the scientists' recreations. Jacqueline says maybe it has to do with the way that the paint is before it cures. That's possible. I have no idea how to make extruded pans. I won't pretend like I do. I'm getting closer to finishing this sketchbook up so we can have another sketchbook tour. We've only got, I don't know, less than 10 physical pages. So I guess 20 sides still seems like a lot, but we'll get there. They're doing some really cool work with the DNA that they're finding in the amber. And the fact that they found that tail a few years back. I don't remember what year. I think it was like 2014 or something. And they found a feathered dinosaur tail in amber. So they're getting more information. I think they also found like, didn't they find like a mammoth or something in an ice block? When I was in St. Louis, Beth suggested, and we started watching a new show called New Amsterdam. It's a medical show, kind of like Grey's Anatomy, but not. When I say Grey's Anatomy, it's just like it's a medical show, right? But they had a really interesting episode on some people who were trekking up where the ice was melting. And obviously it's a fictitious story, but about diseases that are getting unfrozen from the ice because the ice caps are melting. I thought it was interesting. Victor asks, what sketchbook? This is the Hahnemuhle watercolor book. Just a tail like a lizard, a gecko. I mean, we find just pieces of bones, right? Who knows how they got separated? I don't know the story well enough to tell you, but if you look up like on Google, I'm sure you could find an article about it. Rhonda also likes New Amsterdam. I came home, we didn't get to finish it while I was there, but I came home and watched the rest of the episodes. It's weird, I'm not used to watching shows that are live. I watch so many shows on like Amazon Prime or Netflix, so I'm like, wait, I have to wait for another episode? I'm all caught up. Yeah, Marley, I think it's NBC. Maybe Rhonda can help with that. I watch it on Hulu. That's the whole plot to a show on Amazon. Oh, cool. Yeah, look it up. That'd be really fun. Don't eat the yellow snow. Of course not. Oh, that's awesome. Kristen says that they found a mummified dino in Canada and Mary is at the museum that's taking care of it. That is pretty cool. Oopsie, I forgot to leave the tail white. I wonder if I can pick up any of this. We always DVR shows, so we never know what. Yeah. No idea where it's on or what. I just catch them on Hulu. The only thing is at the beginning of each Hulu episode, they do like the chimes, and the NBC chimes came to mind, so. Oh yes, that was Cricket. She came back wanting attention. You left? You didn't want to be hanging out with us anymore. It's not dinner time yet. I made sure before we started streaming. I want this back leg to be a little bit darker, but I ran out of paint, so let's go ahead and mix up some more. Silver block velvet brushes are not great for working with pans just because they're so soft. So I'm always really, really gentle when I pick paint up out of the pans to use the side of the brush so I don't ruin the tip. I haven't really known what to watch since I finished up watching New Amsterdam to the live episodes. I'm going back and doing yet another rewatch of Friends, but I've seen that like 57,000 times, so it's just on in the background while I have been working on that giant mixing chart. Gilmore Girls, yeah, that's another one I've seen maybe, I don't know, 3 times through maybe? Trying to think what sounds reasonable. They're longer episodes, so obviously it takes longer to get through them, but definitely watched more than my fair share of Gilmore Girls. How I Met Your Mother, I've watched probably twice through. I've watched The Office several times. And by watched, I mean like it's on in the background while I'm doing other things after the first time. I missed a bunch. Sorry, you guys typed all really quickly. Am I a fan of medical shows? I watched a little bit of Grey's Anatomy, but I stopped. I don't know. Are they still making them? Are they finally done? But it got way too drama-y. I don't like overly... Like, I don't like the ones that just focus on medical, but if it has a human component without being too dramatic, I like that. So I think that's what I like New Amsterdam for. Sennelier says, I have yet to do a mixing chart. They intimidate me, but I also find I really like the surprising mixing paint on the spot. Yeah, whatever works for you. I'm doing the giant mixing chart, not for myself, but for research purposes, so... I definitely wouldn't do it if it were just me painting at home. Cricket, what on earth are you doing? She's pouncing around on the bed. Oh my gosh, Grey's Anatomy is still going. What season are they on? I feel like I stopped watching that so long ago and I had already watched so much of it. We're going to need to add a little bit of brown to our beak. Well, I guess we don't need to, but I'm going to. I can imagine, Jacqueline. If you work in the field, then I'm sure. It's like when I see like zoos represented on TV shows. Usually it's pretty offensive. So I have a hard time watching that. Like, that's not how it works. Or that's not how it's supposed to work. Cynthia asks, have you watched New Girl yet? Yes. I don't know if I watched all of it or not. I feel like I watched a lot of it and I don't know if it ended or if I stopped watching before it was done. I'd have to take a look. Marley, are they core? No, they're not core. The only shows I watch over and over are Lost and 24. I tried to watch Lost and I didn't get into it. I think that having heard everyone talk about it for so long and then going into it probably wasn't the way to go. Like I should have, if I wanted to watch it, I should have watched it when it was out. I don't know. I also heard like you're not supposed to watch past like season 5 or something. Cynthia says New Girl ended last year. I might have missed a season then. I'd have to look it up. Lost you. Yeah, I think I got to season 2. Despite what Hollywood said, everyone is not sleeping with everyone else. Jacqueline in the medical field, yeah, I can imagine. I think that's kind of why I like New Amsterdam. I mean, there's one storyline that's a little bit like that, but then the rest of it has to do with other... I mean, not real life, obviously, but a little bit more plausible than just everyone's focused on their relationships and not at work or finding people outside of their work. I've heard about The Good Doctor. Oh, okay, sorry, I mixed your two sentences together. I was like, it's like a campy Star Trek, what? But Orville is like a campy Star Trek. I've heard a lot about Orville also. I haven't seen it yet myself. Did I ask this last stream? I might have already asked this. Has anyone watched The Expanse? I think I asked while I was in St. Louis because we were watching it there. But they just released the 3rd season on Amazon, and I need to get watching it. I'm excited. Want to know what happens. Good point. Oh, cool. Polo says that they've read some of the Expanse books. I knew it was based on a book. I haven't read them, though. Rhonda, The Expanse is about... it's in the future. It's set in the future where the Earth had already colonized Mars. So there's the Earthers, there's Mars, and then there's also the people who live on the asteroid belt. And basically the people who live on Mars and Earth need the people that work on the asteroid belt for resources. So they're kind of like the lower class people who get taken advantage of. And then there's a little bit of a political element, obviously not our current climate, but like just politics in general, of these 3 different organizations interacting together. And then in addition to all of that, there's some kind of... how do I put this without giving it away? There's some kind of other threat that is out in the system, in the universe, that is becoming apparent and being weaponized within those 3 groups. So it's pretty interesting. I will give you a full disclosure. If you're not okay with shows that start off slowly, it might not be the show for you. I think it's episode 7 of the first series where things really like start to pick up and get really exciting. But before that, it's a lot of backstory and like trying to keep track of who belongs to what. And there are different storylines happening at the same time. But it's all very, very cool. And if you can get through those first 6, not that they're bad, they're just slower. And then it really, really picks up from there. Yeah, I really like it. Some people compare it to Firefly, which I understand how they're making that reference, but it's very... Like, I obviously love Firefly. You guys know that, right? Like, Firefly is my favorite show. And it's similar to Firefly in that there's all these cultures that have melded together and that they live together. So, like, there's Chinese elements, there's Spanish elements, there's Creole. Oh, I just grabbed the wrong color. There's like Creole language elements. So like there's a lot of different cultures that are combining together, and it takes place in space. And like there's this big threat outside of what we're immediately seeing. So like in those regards, I could say it's similar to Firefly, but it's not the same tone. It's more serious and less comedy. Hopefully that helps. A little bit like space politics, yep. All right, sorry, I've been mixing this color forever. Exactly, what's not to like about Firefly? Firefly is the best. We're doing a rewatch of Firefly with some friends of mine. It's probably the 5th time that I've watched it. I could watch that on repeat. I'm actually pulling together while we're watching it. I am keeping notes so I can hopefully host a trivia night. Got some good questions saved up. Victor! You have to go watch it right now. I don't know if I should tell you. So it's on Amazon. No, it's on Hulu right now. It's not on Netflix anymore. And you have to watch it with commercials. So maybe I just have to send you a copy of the DVDs or something. It's better if it's not interrupted. I'm just so glad that so many of you know what Firefly is. It makes me happy. I'm really sad. I don't know if you guys, I know some people are newer. If you go back on my Instagram and look, sometime last year I was at a convention and I did a painting of one of these little mason jars. See the mason jar cut out here that Eve had sent me? I did a firefly in a bottle, so I did the little firefly ship with like sparkly lights in it, like a firefly in a jar. And I should have just kept it, but since I was at a convention, I sold the original. And so I should do another one so I can like make stickers or something of it. Jacqueline! Jacqueline needs to see it too. I have failed you as my long-term patrons. I should have introduced you to it sooner. Oh, hi, Amelia. When did you come in? Did I miss you? Welcome, one of our newest patrons. No homework needed, just, you know, some very important social, no, what do we want to call this? Like culture media we got to get you caught up on. Oh no, I'm sorry, Amelia. If you typed in chat and I didn't see you, I apologize. Welcome. I'll get you that Etsy code soon. How's it looking so far, guys? Any suggestions? Jacqueline, that's understandable. So I think one of the things that made Firefly such a I don't want to say universal because it's still a cult thing, like a cult classic thing, but it's Western. It's not really sci-fi. Yeah, exactly what Sadir said. So it's not, I mean, yes, it's in space, but it doesn't play like a sci-fi show. It plays like more of like a Western show. You don't have to watch it though, Jacqueline. Don't worry. I think Victor would like it, but if you're not into sci-fi, don't force yourself. Oh, Amelia, I got you covered. Don't worry. I have some of those. Don't worry. Plus, you guys are patrons, right? I take care of you. I'm glad that you like the prints so much, though. I want to be Nathan Fillion when I grow up. He's pretty awesome. I am so bummed. I don't know if I told you guys the story or not. I missed out the opportunity to meet him the first year that the Silicon Valley Comic-Con was here. I wasn't showing. I just went as a guest, and I had signed up for the Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk meet and greet. And then Alan Tudyk couldn't make the Saturday, which is when I was supposed to do it. And so they're like, well, we can either refund you or you can go Sunday. But on Sunday was when all the panels were. And I was worried because they were letting everyone who had Saturday passes sign up for Sunday. And I was like, I have no idea how long the line is going to be. And I'll miss everything else. And it wasn't just me. I was with friends and stuff. So I also, at the time, had absolutely no money. It was very soon after leaving the zoo and before I started doing any of this stuff. So I was like, I should probably just take the refund. So I never got to meet him, although I did meet Alan Tudyk. Funny, because he was the one who canceled the meet and greet. But I met Alan Tudyk a little bit later. He came to a comic book store while they were promoting Con Man, which was his web series that he wrote and produced. And so I did get to meet him. Oh, Jacqueline, The Big Bang Theory. I don't know if I would have guessed that. Aw, so cute. Cynthia, I might be able to show it to you. Do you guys mind? I'm gonna stand up. I'll be right back. I'll try and show you what I have that I made about Kaylee. So I have a Kaylee cosplay. Like, I made the full jumpsuit and I got the patches and I antiqued it, and that's too big to put over the desk. But I also, while I was teaching in my art classes, the after school art programs that I did, I got an apron. And the kids, of course, had no idea what this was, but it made me happy. It's like a khaki green apron that has the bear and the heart and the flower on it. So I bought the apron and then sewed on all the patches. There we go. So I could wear that in class, and it got all roughed up from all the art projects. I'm reading up on chat. Oh, that's awesome, Polo. You guys met through your love of X-Men. David Attenborough is the best. Thanks, Cynthia. I love that apron. I don't get to wear it anymore because I don't teach, but it hangs up on the back of my door, so I at least get to look at it. And then whenever I do go to conventions, I bring my Kaylee cosplay. Con Man, they were supposed to do a third season, and I haven't heard anything about it, and it like breaks my heart. I really want them to do it. I watched the first 2 seasons immediately when they came out. I backed the first one on, it was on Indiegogo, not Kickstarter. But I backed the first season. They were on like Comic-Con HQ or something. It's like a network app thing. They were on that for the second season, and I've watched it like 3 times through, the both of them. But I do not know what happened with the third season. I haven't been able to find anything about it. If you guys hear, let me know. If you are Firefly fans and don't know what Con Man is, Con Man was a web series that Alan Tudyk wrote, and then Nathan Fillion partnered with them on it. And it's about it's not like it's not Alan Tudyk, but it's like his character. So it's a character that was on a sci-fi show that got canceled too soon, and then his co-star went off to be really famous, and he was stuck doing conventions. And it's just kind of like his story about trying to make a comeback and get movies that he wanted to land, and while he's going to conventions and things like that. It's a really funny series, and there's tons of cameos in it from other people that are in that realm of shows. I think all of the Firefly people have been on it, like cameoed on it, except for Adam Baldwin. And obviously Book, Ron Glass isn't on it. I'm trying to think if there's an exception to that, but I think the rest of them have all, between the first and second seasons, I think they've all been on it. Maybe not Inara. She might not have been on it yet. I totally butchered this back foot. I'm sorry, guys. It looks totally creepy. We got 15 patrons here, guys. I'm so glad you all could make it. I know our last one was in the middle of the week because it had to be, so it was a little bit lower attendance, but I'm glad we could catch you this time around. Hide it in grass. Hide the limbs, quick. Yes, Jacqueline. So what happened, I didn't know about it when it originally aired either. So what happened is it was on Fox. So there's a whole thing with Firefly fans hating Fox because they aired Firefly out of order and like didn't play the original pilot and didn't play some of the other episodes. So people were like confused about what was going on. And it had a really crappy time spot. The trailers were not at all depicting what the show actually was. So they like wanted the show to fail, I guess. And it did. But then the fans were so upset that they like rioted and got together before crowdfunding was a thing. And they pushed for a movie. So there's also a movie called Serenity that wraps up after the episode. I think the series itself is only about 14 episodes. And then there's also the movie. Yeah. It's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking, I tell you. All that being said, though, I mean, I would have loved to see more Firefly if they had been able to bring it back right away. But at this point, it's been way too long. I don't think they'd be able to do it the way fans want it to be. I mean, they could make a spin-off or continuation or something, I guess, if they really wanted to. But I don't think that they could do what the fans are envisioning what would have been a second season, you know? Exactly. It wouldn't be the same. I think it's better just to leave it alone and like let it be its perfect thing. We all love it. No reason to taint that now. All right, guys, what are we thinking? You want me to push this much further? Are we done with the rough sketch? We work on another pose. How long have we been streaming? Almost an hour. Oh yeah, graphic novel would be cool. There are some comic books. I have 2 of them. 2 or 3. Oh, thanks, Christine. I think I just messed up the nose, though. The beak. Let's see if we can backtrack. I've been out of paper towels for like a week. And I need to get some more because I don't have anything to like fix mistakes with. I feel like there isn't quite enough contrast. But that's also okay if this is a sketch. Like, I don't want the wings to be over detailed, if nothing else is. Maybe we'll do a couple little darker shadows here and there. That isn't dry yet. Ooh, Victor got a new job. Do I think the males would have been showier? I have no idea. Pigeons aren't... Whoops. Pigeons aren't all that different. The males are like bigger. But if they're related to pigeons and doves, then I don't think they would have too much dimorphism. Then again, this was an isolated species on an island, so anything's possible. Maybe this was what the males look like, and the females were more diminutive, smaller. Christine recommended or requested the Dodo, Marley. You guys have any questions? Anything you're working on? So, Sennelier, I'm curious about the size too, because I realize like I forget to switch down a size when I'm working with the silver black velvets because they're so good at detail work anyway. Been on a colored pencil kick. Anyone read on the discovery of the biggest bee? Oh no, I hadn't heard that. Thank you, Jacqueline. It holds less water, obviously, so there's less. Oh, okay, that makes total sense. So let's try that. I don't know why I'm like waving this around in the air. Let's give it a try. That is way too purple. A wild turkey? We don't get that very often here. I'll see it when I go to kind of more remote or more rural areas of California. Like they have them up in Sacramento. So when I'm visiting friends up there, or in the hills here. Gabor just finished the color chart of your gouache paints. Cool. I haven't done a gouache color chart. It's very hard to control. Like if you're not used to a long bristled brush. I think I'm gonna leave it there because I'm just gonna mess it up. We have the wild turkeys that walk around everywhere. Up in Sonoma, my friends get wild pheasants. Yep. What did I decide to do about moving? That's actually a good question, and I don't think I talked about it because I was in St. Louis to try that out. It's still a plan B if I need it, but for right now, I'm going to stay here, luckily. Going to give it a shot, and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll update you if needed. But it was good I went. I mean, not only to see Beth, but also to, you know, see if I could handle that. I definitely don't think my body did well in the cold weather. But I liked St. Louis as a town just fine. I did realize, though, when I got back home how much I love it here. So I'll probably try and stay here as long as I can realistically manage it with the insane rent that is California. Oh, thanks, Amelia. I was mostly just cold. And I was very in my head. The decision that I made was not just about me. It was about other relationships of people in my life. So luckily that's working out for the meantime. And hopefully it will continue to do so. Here in North Carolina is nice this time of year. Alrighty. Have a good night, Victor, and I hope you enjoy Firefly if you get around to it. Thanks for stopping by. Good seeing you too. Yeah, Rhonda, cold and damp don't do well. The hard thing for me is that my body has like a delayed reaction to everything. So while I was there, like I was cold and uncomfortable, but I didn't have a ton of pain associated with it until the second week. The second week I had a flare, and then that lasted until like a week when I was home. So I'm assuming it had to do with the cold/temperature change. I had no idea that St. Louis was like known for these drastic weather changes. So it went between 8 degrees on the coldest day that I was there to being like 68 degrees 3 or 4 days later. So just having that ping pong of temperatures, I know isn't good for a lot of people with chronic illness either. So maybe that's what set off my flare. I don't know. But all my friends and family are here for the time being. So I'd like to stay here if I can. I just also think that rent is beyond ridiculous here in California. So we'll see. We'll see. I do miss Beth, though. That sounds like South Texas. Interesting. I didn't know the weather ping pong there. I guess what I'm finding is that I already knew this, but I'm just realizing how much I realize this, is that California is very lucky in terms of our weather. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know that the other temperatures not only have seasons, but also are so drastic in how they change back and forth between them. Yeah, I've heard the thing about humidity too being an issue. It was actually pretty dry when I was there. I was inside most of the time and the heater dried everything out. But I don't know what it does to the air pressure. I'm not an is it meteorologist? I don't know all the details about that. It'll be 48 in the morning when you go. Yeah. We get temperature changes like that throughout the year too, Jacqueline. In terms of like morning versus night. But usually it's fairly consistent. Like if it's gonna do that, it'll do that for, you know, a week straight or something. Whereas in St. Louis, it would just change day to day. One day would be super hot, one day would be super cold. It didn't seem to be cyclical in any way. All right, Sadir, you are right. I do like this little brush for details. It does take some adjustments. It's hard to get used to. But it's pretty fun for these little lines. It was too cold to be wet at 8 degrees. Yes, exactly. We only got snow like one day where it was snowing, and then one day that it was like little flutters. But for the most part, it was pretty dry. What I hate is one day you have to run the heater and the next. Yeah. I've actually been doing not an intentional experiment, but it was really warm in my room the other day, and so I turned off my heater. We have baseboard heaters in my apartment, so it's not central heat. It's just like room by room. And I turned off the one in my bedroom, and it's been off for like 4 days. So I guess between the heat that my tech generates slash the slippers that I bought when I went to St. Louis, like I bundled up with my slippers and my hat and everything, I've been able to tolerate it a little bit better. But in the car, that's where it's been, like we have within the same day here in California, you'll have to have the heater on in the morning and then the AC on like after 1. And that's pretty common here. Oh wow, it snowed in Tucson. Sennelier, have you seen the dollhouse? Tucson, for whatever reason, just makes me think of the dollhouse. I think they only mention it a little bit in that series, but that's what I always think of. Wow, 15 years. Yeah, it doesn't snow very often in San Jose. Like, I remember it snowing once when I was a kid. And then when I lived in the Santa Cruz Mountains for a little bit after college, and it snowed on the summit. Like not where I was living, but when I had to drive to work, you have to go over the hill. And it snowed on the summit there. So that was probably another 10 years ago or so. And then this last couple of weeks, the mountains around us are actually like they're snow-capped mountains that are starting to finally melt, but it's very unusual. We didn't get any of it down here at these lower altitudes, but all the mountains surrounding San Jose have them. I know we left the topic of TV shows, but that was another Joss Whedon show that I tried to watch it when it aired. I remember watching the first episode and thinking like, oh, this is bad. And so I stopped watching it. And then I watched it later after it was already off the air. And I know it's partially my fault because I stopped watching it. But also, you know, I think they picked a cheesy first couple episodes that weren't very good. And then I ended up loving the series as a whole. I watched that several times too, but that takes a few episodes to find its groove also. Yeah. Valley, just like San Jose. I haven't seen Zoo. I've heard about it, but I have not seen it myself. I love this Dodo has, or just Dodos in general, have a beak that's kind of shaped like I like to do my dragon beaks, like mouths. So I think I'm pretty drawn to them for that reason. I love the shape of it. And was the Zoo Diaries, Canada. I remember hearing the Zoo Diaries. I stopped watching Animal Planet a long time ago. Well, that doesn't sound good. Oh no. Yeah, that probably was around the era that I stopped watching Animal Planet. I feel like, I don't know if they've gotten back on track or not, but sometime around when I went to college, they just started showing a lot of shows that villainized animals, and they started describing like Shark Week as like vicious predators, and it's like, no, come on. You're supposed to be you're supposed to be harboring love for animals, not making it seem like they're horrible, vicious creatures. I don't know about this particular show that you're talking about, but they had a lot of shows around that time frame that were just not positive messaging at all. So I stopped watching. I used to watch the vet shows, like emergency vets and stuff, when I was little, younger, after school and stuff. Oh, the Toronto Zoo. Interesting. Oh, cool. Yeah, the Liam Neeson movie with the wolves, I didn't see that. I didn't care for the trailer. And I'm also still trying to bring myself to see The Revenant. I'm a big fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, and like he's a vegan, and I know he ate like raw meat for that, but I don't know that I could watch that whole survival thing. I know it's supposed to be good, but I don't know if I could do it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of anything that villainizes animals without trying to like educate people on why they deserve our respect also, you know? It was so hard for me when we had that incident with the San Francisco Zoo, with the tiger. There was an incident where there were some boys taunting and throwing things at one of the tigers, and it leapt the barrier and flew over the... Not flew, obviously, but, you know, jumped over the moat that was keeping it in, and I don't remember what happened to the boys. I know the tiger was shot, and that it sucks that because people were stupid, that animal had to die because they were taunting it. Animals will be wild animals, and we need to respect that and not do terrible things to them. Marley, is it fiction? Or is it a documentary? Yeah, Jacqueline. I watched those shows too, like the rescue shows. I couldn't do it anymore. It's too much. Same with Harambe, yeah. All kinds of stuff that's human error. The animals have to die for it. It's unfortunate. I did, though, learn the way that I grew up and the way that social media makes it seem and articles make it seem is that, oh, why wouldn't you just dart the animal? But working at a zoo, and we had to do like escape jaguar drills, like prepare if that were to happen. Tranquilizers don't sink into larger animals for like 10 to 15 minutes. It is not what you see in the movies where they just like fall over. So the only way that they can trank animals like that is if they're not an immediate threat to human life. Otherwise, they're required to shoot them. And the worst part is, it's like, it's the keepers that have to take care of them that are usually the ones that are there and have to do that. And like, I can't even imagine being in a situation where you're forced to... I can't even talk about it. Let's change the subject. That just, oh, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Zoo is fiction. The Zoo Diaries was a docuseries. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I think we're just about done with this guy. I mean, I can keep tweaking and painting, but I don't think it's going to get much better from here on out. I do like this little brush. It's pretty fun. You have a lot of control. going to put a few more little marks on the face here. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'm glad that there's more zoos that are being open with things like that, though, too. I think I can say this. The zoo that I worked at was always a little bit more secretive than I would like to be, and it's not because they were doing anything wrong. It was because they were afraid of what social media would make out of certain situations. And I didn't like that stance. I like when zoos are open about things and explain things about why something happened or whatever. I really appreciate the Sacramento Zoo is a really small zoo here in California, and they do a really excellent job with their social media. Whenever an animal's sick or dies, they always fully explain what happened, and I always just really respected that about them, because I think people aren't going to understand what happens in zoos unless we tell them, you know? So I like that transparency, but I like transparency in general, so maybe I'm biased. Will I be doing a video on water control? I'm gonna try and do it on Skillshare. I know that won out in the poll. I'm gonna try and think of a way that I can present that would be uniquely me. I know that there are other videos on YouTube and on Skillshare about water control, and I don't want to make something if it's just gonna be a rehash of what someone else has already said. So I'm going to try for the Skillshare video, but I want to make sure that it would be a fresh take. Anything else, folks? I'm going to put a little bit of pink on the belly here. It's supposed to be lighter in color, but I don't want to just leave it white because we have such dark areas in other places. It looks a bit out of place here. This whole area here was a mistake. I mean, that should not be that dark. But that was not intentional. It just happened because I built up too much pigment. Glazing in some purple here. If I do manage to do a water control video using very specific descriptors, yes. I'm with you guys. So like when you're saying that they're not super helpful or that they don't do a lot for practical applications, that's why I've been hesitant to make one, because I don't want it just to be like, oh, dip your brush in one time and get X amount of water on it and yada. 'Cause I mean, different brushes hold different amounts. You guys know that. So I want to do it in a way that is practical and that explains in an actual painting situation how to control water and that kind of thing. So honestly, I don't have all the answers, and the reason it's taken me so long is because I want to make sure it's a quality video if I do it. And I haven't figured out how to approach it yet, but I want to try for you guys. I know it's something that you've been asking for. Yes, yeah, very true. It's also stylistic. The funny thing is that I see a lot of YouTubers when they're do this, not that videos, they talk about, oh, people use too much water. And I don't know about people at home in their own houses or whatever, but I've taught both children and adults in watercolor. And I never once encountered someone using too much water. It's almost always that they're hardly using any water at all because they're used to acrylics or oil paints. And like I have to constantly coax it out. I mean, I taught watercolors for 2 or 3 years straight between like special adult classes and after school kids classes, and I always had to be like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're dipping our whole brush in water and we're plopping it here, and then we're doing it again like 3 times. Please get a wash of yellow that is ready to go and nice and liquidy. So that type of thing. So if you guys want to let me know what you struggle with specifically, that would be great, just because it'll help me kind of know how to address it. But in my personal practical experience teaching people, that is the problem that I saw, not the issue that people had too much water. So we'll see. Is that it? Are we all good? I'm just trying to add like little pops of color here and there to balance out this. All this purple's looking pretty flat, so adding some orange and yellow here and there just to brighten things up a little bit. All right, I think we're done. Nope, I see one more thing. All right, any other questions about water control or comments on water control? Trying to help me figure that out. Any questions for the video? Or should I wish you all well for the rest of your weekend? I'm not seeing anything in chat, so that either means I am no longer audible or that you don't have any questions. Alrighty. Jacqueline, I'm so glad you could make it. It's nice chatting with you. I'm glad everyone else could make it too. Welcome to our newest patrons. It was really good having you here also. I'll get those emails sent out. Oh no! How did that happen? I moved the picture. I wonder if that's going to show up on stream. It did. Okay. Well, that's a fun thing you can do with video software that I did not encounter when I was using my phone. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Sadir. Thank you, Christine. Thanks, Christine, especially for the Dodo suggestion. I will get you guys your tutorials soon. I need to finish that mixing chart that I'm working on first, and then hopefully we can do those other tutorials. The one that I've been waiting so long to do, and sorry, I'm cleaning my desk with my very official paintbrush here. The reason that I've been waiting so long is that the first tutorial that I wanted to record for you this month was going to be the black cat commission that I asked you about last month. It's for my grandpa, and I know that he sees the emails that come out from Patreon. He doesn't watch the videos, so I can tell you guys here. But when I record that, I'm gonna have to delay it because I want to send it to him and have him see it before it comes out, and then I'll post the video. But I'm gonna record that first, and then I'll record the other two videos. You'll see those ones first, and then you'll see the black cat probably later on in the month. Sorry if that's confusing. I can't tell you, Marley. I'm sorry. It's not information I can publicly share right now, but I will tell you guys as soon as I can, and my patrons will be the first to know. I know, I'm terrible at keeping secrets. That's why you guys even know that there's a mixing chart to begin with. If I was super good, I just wouldn't have said anything. So, for those of you who asked about the palette, I really enjoyed working with this porcelain piece today. I really like the way it mixed up. We were only using a couple different colors, so I didn't run out of wall space or anything like that. The Sennelier re-wet really easily. I didn't have any problems with that, so far so good. We did stay away from the earth tones today. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Senneliers. Marley, ... fine. Hi, Lily, I'm sorry, we're just about to sign off. I know it's not a good time for Singapore, I apologize. But there'll be a video recap for you. If you have any questions for me before I head off that you specifically wanted to ask, you can let me know before I tune out. So dear, I'm glad that you like the live streams. Thank you for being here and thank you for your support. I'm glad we started doing them. They're fun. I'm just looking at your comment again, Marley. I promise it won't be too long before you guys get to find out about that. And I promise it's worth the wait. It's pretty fun stuff. Yeah, it's nice getting to connect with you. I know that they're further back. They're not quite as detailed. It's not a tutorial per se, but chatting is the main reason we're here, and having something to watch is just a nice benefit. Lily, did you have any questions before I go? I know, Marley, I do too. I'm the worst. I'm the worst at keeping secrets. I just like to share everything all the time because I get excited and I want you to know about it. When will, I mean, it'll be this week because it's the end of February, so I owe you 3 very quickly. Hopefully tomorrow, question mark, crossing my fingers. My boyfriend is out of town. I do have to clean a lot in the apartment, but I'm going to try and balance cleaning with the tutorials, and that you guys are first on my list. I do want to get a video out for YouTube since I didn't get one out this week and feel really bad about that, but you are the ones that are supporting me with your monies, so you guys come first. All right, well, I haven't seen anything from Lily, so I hope that you enjoy the stream, Lily, that you get caught up, and let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them outside of chat, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Have a great rest of your weekend, and have fun painting some dodo birds if that is what you want to do.